Hi. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, everyone? Children listening in far and wide.
Okay, we're
Can
good.
you? Yep.
I
Okay,
just heard it on
cool.
stream, yeah.
Huzzah. Well then, hi guys. For those who didn't hear me, sorry guys who are over here. My name is Rose. I'm the guest here in this lovely game. I play Theodora Lomax, the mother of one of the patients here at Hemlock. Um, I would normally say that I do not have any powers, but I have been shamed into admitting that I do currently play the Nova playbook. I read minds, motherfuckers.
Two Novas on a unit, nothing bad could possibly happen.
Nothing bad could possibly happen when two Novas. Just sounds like the Alphas meme. I'm sorry, I fucking can't.
Beside me, there are two wolves.
That Sigma chat energy.
Two Alphas are in this.
One of them is 60. The other one is a girl fan.
And
Awful.
last but not least, we are going to jump over to our newly appointed team leader, Q.
Hi, I'm Q, he, him. So now I'll be playing Mr. Connor Creed, also he, him. He's the transformed playbook, and he is currently overwhelmed. Um, some good, some not so good, but it's just sort of a lot as a whole. But he's going to keep it together for his friends. And friends includes Valen. Motherfucker.
Just watching Kian say, "Oh no, I didn't even have to look at the subtitles." It's fine. Everything is fine. And yes, we'll see if Connor and Valen have a bit of a conversation tonight, which I'm sure will go so very well. The funny thing is, like, I think that Q is genuine and like this could go well, and Kian is like, absolutely the fuck not. All right. With that, I will quickly introduce myself. I am JD. I am the storyteller, and I will be playing everyone else, including some of the aforementioned inmates that are in here with all of you. And so with that, we are, in fact, now only 35 minutes into this, going to jump right in. And we are going to start where we started last time, in a different place, in a different time, in a very nice looking house in the suburbs, where a teenage boy has just climbed in through the window, hoping to escape detection. And realizing that it was very, very, very reckless to think that his absence, let alone his activities, would not be noticed. Casey Lomax has just climbed in through his bedroom window, thinking he made it through another night undetected with the activities going on between him and his friend, Gray. And he is now faced with the sight of his mother, Theodora Lomax, sitting on his bed, letting him know that they need to talk.
Sit down, Pookie.
I'd like I'd like to
Sit down. Now,
he sits.
Theodora Lomax puts a hand around her son and just pulls him tightly. She ignores the blood stains that are currently rubbing up against her perfectly manicured blouse and suit jacket. She twists her son's hair around her fingers and just wordlessly she says, "What have you been doing?" And she just brushes the hair out of his face and says, "When I listen to you, it's louder. My boy, what did you do?"
Mom, they deserved it. They fucking deserved it.
Tell me everything from the beginning. Start with who?
Why are you asking for something you already know?
Because I need to know if my boy is going to keep lying to me or if we are going to work together to fix this. I can see everything, but if I'm going to get you out of this, we're going to need cooperation. It's not going to look exactly as either of us are going to want, but we play the hands that were dealt. She brushes a hand out of her own face and just straightens up again, now letting him go. It was for you, but it was for us. How? She stops herself and pulls up her glasses. I have to make some calls, but we're going to do this very, very carefully.
Calls? What calls? You keep saying we're gonna fix this, but we don't need to fix anything. We've covered our tracks. It's gonna be fine.
You can bury any body as deep as you want with whatever powers you have, but there'll always be someone watching you. And she kind of blinks and says, I can already hear whispers, people talking about people going missing. You take one life away, and there is a network connected of voices. You silence one, and tens, hundreds ask where and why. You have no idea. All the voices that I've been hearing, all of them seeping in and asking where, who, why. If they don't find out now, they'll find out soon. And if you want to, she again brushes the face of her beloved child, despite how in the way he is. I'm not projecting at all here. I will do anything to protect you, Casey. I will do everything to keep you safe. I don't care who you killed. I don't doubt it. They probably did deserve it. But there are consequences to actions. And if you're going to kill, you have to do it carefully. You're a Lomax. We do things better than this.
You said you were going to call someone. Who are you going to call, Mom?
The cases against people with superpowers are always harder. When you have these type of abilities, people get scared and they act harshly. But if you're able to just plead a little insane, there are people who try to treat this. I've heard of various doctors, Foxglove, other university professors. I can write notes, get my own campaign involved, my own financing. We will work it out. I will give you the defense you need. Just I will
I
take
don't
care
need
of
a
it.
defense, Mom. Nobody knows that me and Gray did this. No one but you. What do I need to be defended from?
You think that you can get away with just killing? You don't think that they have people watching everywhere? People with powers that you can't understand? Please. Just because you have super strength or super speed doesn't mean that you're the most powerful person out there. There are things that are far greater. That's what we were working on. That's what we could have done together. Had to go and do it on what? Some boy? That was ours, my boy. He could have been something. Why? Was I that terrible a mother?
No, of course. Of course you weren't, Mom. I'm
I've
sorry.
just done everything I could to try and protect you, and I think I
know.
can keep you safe. I don't care how many you have to kill, but eventually it's going to come up with you. Have your fun. But when you get too reckless, Mommy's always got you. And she gives a hug, takes out a handkerchief and wipes off the blood. Show me the knife. Or did you do this? And she looks at the hands.
No, we threw it down the drain.
Oh, you never leave disposable physical evidence. You destroy it. Don't leave it for someone to... You clean yourself up. And Gray, if you can hear me, keep him safe. All of this conversation has happened telepathically. So any types of conversation, I imagine, could be heard. So this is, if we're watching this, no lips have moved.
And Casey stands up. He starts to walk towards the bedroom door. And then he pauses and turns back. You said a couple of times that there are always people watching. I need to get back to that drain. I thought
No.
the person I saw there was you.
I've been here waiting for you, my boy. Come here. And she's going to walk over and stretch up to place her fingers on his foreheads, and just for a second lets him experience the cacophony of voices that she is alert to constantly as a radio frequency. And it is all of just hushed whispers and questions and people saying random words, and it swirls and swirls with all of this information, and just for half a second until she lets go, and then it's quiet again, just the two of them, maybe three. I will keep you safe from all of them, my boy. Now, go wash up. I have dinner's been heated up for you. I've made your favorite. I love you.
And Casey, whose body jerked almost like an electric current went through him when he heard the cacophony of voices, whose eyes are not quite filled with tears, but almost, nods, turns away, and not looking back says, "Yeah, I love you too, Mom," as he pushes open the door, and we transition directly into the hallway of Hemlock, where the door opens. Casey stands there, leaning against the side of the door, looks at Ellie, and asks, "So, you want to come in?"
Okay. um, Ellie's still a little shocked at what they saw down the hall, I think, and I think it's just like that blank traumatized stare down the hall, and then just like huge like wide eyes just like look back at him and then blinks and then looks back at the like the hall and then back at Casey, and it's just like, did you yeah, do you mind?
Casey like leans out, looks where you were looking, looks at you, looks down the hall, looks back at you. You good?
That's like a really subjective definition right now, I think. Maybe. As a whole, maybe. Generally, yes.
That doesn't feel entirely true, but whatever. Come on in. And he steps back. And you see that despite the fact that staff was watching him and Gray really closely before, Gray is sitting on the edge of Casey's bed. And they have just been in here with the door closed. Well, partially closed. As closed as a Hemlock door ever gets.
3 inches.
Correct.
Stranger Things joke. She shuffles in past Casey, like arms are definitely like folded across her chest, like very like not defensively but protectively of like herself, and it's still that very, very tired shuffle. Looks to Gray and then back to Casey, and then at the floor. We need to have a conversation about several things, I think. And I think that I kind of deserve an explanation. I know that we are not on the best of terms or have never been on the best of terms, but I just wanted to say I get it now. I get you too now. And I don't even know where to start with this. I should start from the beginning. I don't know if you both know how my powers work, but it's physical touch. And it is draining for me. And it's scary because when I absorb too much, I get really sick. And I don't want to find out what happens if I go over that boundary I have set, because I have lost days at a time just unconscious. And I don't really want to do that here right now. So like next time, just ask. You know, it's kind of like important to maybe ask someone before you take their hands, which I was totally fine with. But it's dangerous sometimes. Next time it won't be so dangerous. It decreases with exposure. But like, yeah, just kind of like give me like some kind of nod or like, warning, or like, hey, let me hold your hand, kind of, I don't know. But just don't take my hands at the same time without warning me, because I could get really hurt. Please.
Casey is keeping his expression studiously neutral. He has gone to kind of half sit on the edge of the desk in the room. And he's watching Ellie as she talks. And there is a moment where he kind of automatically glances down towards your hands and registers some level of surprise when he realizes she hasn't been wearing the gloves. I'm curious though, how does Ellie think Casey is going to respond to this?
I think somewhere deep, she hopes that he'll be respectful of what she's saying, like actually like think about it and understand it and give her a like, oh, okay, I totally get that response. And I think in reality, she has already prepared herself that he is going to flippantly brush it off as a, yeah, okay, whatever, sure. Like I understand. Sorry. I understand what you're saying, but also like it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, like response.
Casey is not the one who responds first. Gray is the one who responds first. And I'm not sure how much in all of this Ellie has specifically addressed them and how much was primarily directed towards Casey, but regardless of that, he says, I'm sorry. We won't do it again without your permission.
It was definitely directed at both of them equally, I would say, just because they were both like 50% party to what happened. But but I think most of her attention, while flipping towards both of them, was mostly directed towards the floor. Because this is a really awkward conversation to have with two people who she beforehand never really wanted to talk to begin with. But as Grace says this, she would pivot to turn her attention towards him and like just study his features for a second and then go, thank you. I really, that means a lot to me. And I believe you. That was actually the easier part of this conversation. And I don't know how to talk to you guys about this because up until that, I thought you both were idiots, honestly, and emotionally immature and stupid and annoying and just two people who didn't want to apply yourselves. And that was why you were here. And now I get it. And I'm sorry. I think is the right thing I should say. I'm sure it came across as better than you attitude. And I am sorry because I get it. What it's like to be separated from someone you care that much about. And when you both took my hand, there's a second part of that ability sometimes. And I don't know if this happens with everyone that you use as a, I don't know, electrical circuit is how I guess you could describe it. But I felt that love, and I haven't felt that way in a while, even if it wasn't mine. And it was really nice, and I'm glad you two can have that. But also, and she turns and looks at Casey and just stares at him for a while. Mostly you, but I think the both of you were scared at one point. And I guess it was directed towards your mom, which is weird. Because we just met her and she seems weird. And I guess I just wanted to know what's up with that because she didn't really give us a chance to talk to her. She kind of flipped out. And I've never seen either of you scared like that. So I wanted to know what's up with your mom, I guess, and you, and why is she here? And I guess that's the first question is why is she here? Whose mom comes to visit here to stay? She's also said she was a doctor. And I don't think that's true, but you would know better than me. And I'm talking a lot and I'm sorry. I'm just had a really long day. 3 days, actually, a really long 3 days. And this is a lot. And I did not think that after all of this has happened, that this was where I would find myself talking to you two about love, and that's weird. And I'm gonna stop talking. What's up with your mom?
And I imagine it's in those last few sentences that Ellie realizes Casey's eyes have not been focused on her for pretty much everything since you first mentioned his mother. He has been looking over your shoulder and he is staring at Gray. And if you happen to follow that gaze, you see that Gray is like holding up his hands in a placating gesture. And when you look back at Casey, he has straightened up, reminding you that He and Gray are among the tallest on this unit. And he looks furious. Listen, I don't know what you think you know. I don't know what you think you felt. I don't know what sort of shit you're trying to imply about my mom. Whatever you felt, you didn't feel it. You think me and Gray felt scared? No. Of course we didn't. We've never felt scared a day in our fucking lives. You think you felt love? Doesn't matter what you think you felt. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about Gray. You don't know anything about my fucking mom.
You're right. I don't, and that's why I came to ask you. Because clearly this is a problem.
What do you mean this is a problem?
You don't think that her just showing up is not a problem? You think that you want your mother here?
I didn't say that.
Well, you said, what is the problem? There is a problem. There's a problem with this whole place, and we both know that. All three of us in here, and she looks to Gray, know that. So yeah, I think there's a problem with your mother, who clearly has no control over her own emotions and powers, which she adamantly has denied she has, which is also weird, is a problem.
If you think it's so much of a problem, why don't you go work on fixing it?
I have to know what to fix first, Casey. Stepwise. Not just gonna go and like try to fight your mom for no reason. Sounds kind of stupid.
Fight my mom?
Yeah, I don't know. What else are we supposed to do?
Are you
Kick her
fucking
out?
serious?
Maybe. I don't know what is serious and what's not and what's real and what's not anymore in this place. And I am, would love to make sense of it all. But you know what? At this moment, fighting someone's mom isn't really the weirdest thing that I've gone through in the last 3 days.
Might not be the weirdest thing you've gone through in the last couple of days, but you wanna fight my mom? Be my fucking guest. I'm not getting involved in that shit.
You don't get involved in much of anything anymore unless it's sending someone to the infirmary or going to ISO. I'm not asking you to get involved in this. I'm just asking to know what's going on with her so we can do something about it. I don't care if you're involved or not. And I don't care if you're going to deny every single feeling that I felt. But this is something that I've dealt with my whole life. And people can deny the emotions they feel as much as they want. But I know the truth. So help me or not, I really don't care, Casey. I thought I would try to give both you and Gray the benefit of the doubt. And maybe you guys weren't so shitty after all. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying we. Gray has done nothing but talk to me in a level-headed tone since I came here, and you invited me in. But why invite me in if you don't even want to talk to me?
In that moment, it's as though you blink. And Gray is right there behind Casey. Arm around his shoulders, kind of looking at you, with the added, advantage of having several inches on Casey's height. I'd like you. I think we're gonna get a little, off the wall, but I think I would like you to roll with mundane. I think this is going to be a Pierce the Mask roll, if you would like it.
I would, and that's why I moved my stuff. All right. All right. Let's see if these dice go to dice jail. That's a 9. Oh no,
Sweetie, you're muted,
You're
sweetie.
muted.
Thank you. I do that so there's not too much background noise, and then I forget I've done that. I'm going to give you one thing for free. And that is, well, there could easily be something about Gray's posture that looks threatening, like he's ready to back Casey up. You realize when you see how he's running his fingers along the back of Casey's neck that there are crimes being committed.
Every damn time I'm trying to have a serious scene, they can't let me have anything nice.
You realize that instead what is happening is that Gray is trying to desperately keep Casey calm. So you have one other question that you can ask. What would you like to know? And it can be one of the ones on the list. I will always take a question of your choosing, though.
I'm trying to word this right. I kind of want to ask, how could I get Casey to connect with me truthfully? Like to, in a sense, drop this facade he's putting up if he is, and tell me how he's really feeling. So I guess, yeah, to be truthful.
And I think the pieces come together pretty readily to figure out the answer to that, because you realize that when you were vulnerable, when you talked about the need for boundaries and the fact that a line had been crossed, this was not the energy that Casey was bringing to the conversation. He might not have been the one who answered, but everything about his body language essentially said that, well, Gray spoke for both of them. Gray spoke for both of them. And that would definitely stand out to you as well. As you pointed out, Gray has been the more level-headed one. Talking to them is likely going to be a better avenue. But I think the biggest thing that stands out is the fact that the more you push, the more Casey is going to push back. And it is very clear he does not want to talk about any of his feelings in relation to his mom. So if you can give him a reason that does not involve him being scared, him being upset, anything that he and Gray were experiencing there, maybe he dropped that facade a bit and be willing to open up.
Okay. I think the way I picture it is that Casey was now between her and the door, and so I think she takes a step back, but it's definitely more into the room than out of the room at this posturing, and then realizes she's not actually in immediate danger with Gray there. She gets it. She'll drop it. Maybe another time. And I guess thinking on things in the past that have worked with them would offer the same, I guess not grace, but a quid pro quo, if I can form words right tonight, and ask if there's anything they want to know about that situation from her.
It's Gray who asks, how many times have you done something like that?
Absorbed a power or felt someone else's emotions?
Both?
All the
Either?
time. All the time. Whether I like it or not. Which is why I wear gloves sometimes. I've gotten kind of like used to reading body language, so usually I can predict someone's movement enough to like avoid it. It has to be a few seconds of skin to skin contact, so brushing against someone isn't like too dangerous, but mistakes happen. Here hasn't been a problem really. You have super speed, so kind of a problem. And by that point that I realized it, it was already happening. But all the time.
And Casey smirks at you. So was it a mistake?
It's going to be so embarrassing, and I'm going to regret saying this, but no, it was not a mistake. And I would honestly love to feel that again. Because I miss it a lot. Yeah.
And Casey glances over his shoulder at Gray, and then looks back at you and grins and says, well, maybe that's something that can be arranged. And we're going to pan out of that scene. We're at least going to briefly visit with Mama Theo.
Yes.
Has she stayed in the group room once the patients scattered after that group therapy session?
I think she lingers there for a bit. Uh I think a lot of very intense, very deliberate self-regulation exercises that she just continues to like try and get to the point where she can only hear like her own few thoughts, and is just making the room perfect and having to like look at all the cameras, and is already just trying to damage control herself essentially.
And Theo, something you have certainly recognized over the time you have known Dr. Foxglove is that he seems strangely inoculated to you. You don't hear his thoughts. And that is why I would imagine you are caught off guard when there is a knock on the door.
Fully like takes a hand to cover the gasp that absolutely still escapes, and takes a second to like, you know, squeeze a stress ball because she hates this part because that damned man and his silent thoughts. Takes a breath and then says, "Yes, come in, Dr. Foxglove." She knows it's him just by the absence.
And he steps in. He doesn't comment on the fact that she knew it was him and says, "Well, Theodora, that seemed like quite the eventful group therapy session."
Yes, it was strenuous, but I still believe there is ample opportunity for research and development of successful treatments and therapies. This is, while not the most responsive group, still promising. Is there something I can help you with, Doctor?
May I speak candidly, Theodora?
I would hope so. Please.
My concern is less with the patients and more, well, with you.
Whatever do you mean, Dr. Foxglove?
Theodora, you are meant to be demonstrating the epitome of how your treatment works and how you are a success story.
Yes. It was an unfortunate lapse of control, but I believe that despite any irregularities in my demeanor and performance, that these patients should still know the dangers of what happens when you lose control for a second, half a second. And that any one of us can crack at any time. So, Now I will show them how to move past one's failures with grace. That is, after all, why we're here. They're here. Second chances.
Yes, it is indeed why they're here.
I'm sure that Dr. Foxglove wouldn't put any there wouldn't be any sign if he did notice, but certainly those watching would also register just the tightening of her muscles at that confirmation. Doctor, when you invited me here, you said you wanted a mother's touch, and I do understand that my foundation has poured a lot of money into the success of this institution and various important causes within the powered community. I understand that my expertise is at sometimes investigated. And I believe I can do great good here. And I, of course, respect and appreciate the opportunity to keep an eye on people close to me. But why now? Have things gotten worse for them? They're close, but they're okay. The boys seem to be doing well. It's totally okay if you say no, but I would like to pierce the mask.
Absolutely.
Hey, LC. Hey, LC, remember when you said I took all the good rolls?
Yeah.
I just rolled double ones.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You love to see it.
I do. Me personally.
Yeah.
Bless America.
I think that I might be in I think that's a 1. I think she might have negative in the mundane too. So I would, because I think it would be fun for you, JD. I would like to, because I know that would normally be like an unleash powers for her to do telepathy, but I think I would like to flavor it as she is desperately looking for information about Casey and Gray and why she's there, and she just reaches out, attempts to. How do I fuck myself, JD?
The irony is, I think, in many ways, there could be elements of this that feel like a success for Theo. Because for the second time in an hour, she feels her powers go off. She hears complete silence. as her mind brushes up against whatever it is that is shielding Foxglove. And not only is there nothing in his thoughts, but there is nothing in his body language, or if there had been, nothing that she is able to register being so caught off guard by that sensation.
I think she's visibly caught off guard. Um, just that moment of, um, if you ever had, like, especially for those of us who sleep with white noise machines, if that ever goes off, like, and then it's like, what the fuck? I think there's just that moment of being caught off guard, and um, her shoulders slump as they relax a little bit, as it's just, it's quiet. And I think she's just stays in that moment, um, completely unaware of whatever the fuck Foxglove is doing, and just kind of shakes her head and goes, "Excuse me, sir, is there anything else you need, Dr. Foxglove? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought."
And Dr. Foxglove says, "Not at all. I believe we at Hemlock are very lucky to have you here, Theodora, and I have no doubt that the patients are going to learn everything they need to learn from you."
She looks proud, fully not, not, yeah, yeah. She takes that as like, good. I'm glad we see things the same way. um, uh, I don't know when Theo noticed that she started staying over and sleeping in a cell, or going into her room, but I feel like she just leaves the office where she was staying, and kind of in that haze just goes to where she'll be settling in until the next therapy session, preparing the various exercises and therapies. I will be sure to enlighten all of the patients at Hemlock.
And it's interesting because it looks like an apartment, the type of room that would be given to a visiting doctor or a visiting special guest. But you notice it is in line with the patient's doors.
Yep, yep. Clown to clown communication, baby. She fully, like, you, I think if we saw before the scene changes, we would see Theo walk in and take like a nice sigh as she enters the room and prepares to clean up this beautifully adorned apartment. And as the door shuts, it looks exactly like a Hemlock door cell.
And I think that is actually where we are going to take our break and then jump into what the rest of the crew is doing as we prepare to navigate this new addition to the ward, this new patient on the ward, this new provider to the ward. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes or so. And I am pretty sure we're going to have a time as we continue tonight. So stay right here, get more beverages, stretch your legs, and we'll be back.
Everyone loves a chaperone. I'm just a
See,
I will always repeat myself when I say, "Can we bully you for fun, JD?" Because I would love to. Hmm
I will.
Are you gonna
allow
give
Nerd.
that.
permission live? So because you told us yes.
I am giving permission to be bullied.
All right, everybody, you heard it here first, live on television. I wish I could just form words today for once in my life to sound like a normal human being.
It's okay, Elsie. We've all been there. I called a month a week, and then I called a week a year earlier today. So
That's what
where
it
I've
feels
been
like.
at.
Sometimes
So
it be like that,
mentally,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we left on the ominous addition to the ward. And I think we are going to jump over right now to Scylla.
Okay.
Where did you go after that strange moment?
Is a good question. The group had kind of split up. So Valen took Caleb somewhere to calm him down, and then Connor, did he follow Valen? Or
Yes, Q, I did want to ask, did Connor let Scylla go off on her own after that experience of her eyes going white and her speaking with a voice that was not her voice?
that's an answer.
Oh God. Okay. I think given what he needs to do, I think he's just kind of letting everybody go to their own separate corners because the plan was to meet after dinner. So he's got to find a place for them all to meet after dinner, or probably during dinner, and then figure out where to go after that, you know? So I think he's going to let Caleb and Valen have their moment and Scylla have hers, and just fingers crossed that everybody will come back together.
And Scylla promised she would come back, so she will be there. I think Scylla, oh god. Scylla just kind of isn't sure where to go. She kind of wanders back towards her room, but she's feeling restless. So she kind of just U-turns once she gets there. She kind of pauses outside the bathroom she had the vision, because she's kind of like, I keep having visions in bathrooms. That's weird. Is there a correlation, or is it just a coincidence? Correlation is a very big word. Good job. And then just kind of keeps like ambling. Probably goes down into like, she probably like kind of slinks off towards, I would guess, the day room, and kind of finds a table, could be a coffee table, to just kind of like scurry under and just process. And it's just kind of like, I don't think I was a cult leader, because I don't know how you be a cult leader. I don't, like, do people, I mean, that's not a job you can apply for. It's like a self-employment thing, but I don't know how to do that. And she just kind of like starts chewing on the table leg. She's just thinking. She like takes a few chomps, and then is just like kind of gently pokes one of the moths in her hair. It's just like, you tell me if I did something bad, right?
And Scylla, you're not quite sure if it's the moth responding to you or your own processing, but you're remembering how members of the team looked at you. You're remembering that fear in Caleb's eyes, in Mara's eyes. And the thing that gets you isn't that it feels familiar. That's part of it. But it's that you remember that same look etched onto the faces of Luke and Sloan. And it's just a flash that goes through your memory. Just a stark image of each of them.
Oh, you wouldn't look at me like that. That's wrong. That's wrong. I think Scylla, she's gonna give the table leg a few more bites. And then she's kind of gonna roll onto her stomach and like look at the floor and just kind of like gently like poke the floor, and it's just like, are you alive? Did you see what was in the mirror when I was in the bathroom? I felt like something was in the mirror, but maybe that was just in my head. But I wasn't sure because I could see what was in my head. Was anything in the mirror? If there was, could you tell me, please?
I think it's gonna be a weird roll, but I would like you to roll to unleash your powers.
On
To
the
talk-
building?
To
talk
to the floor.
Superior is her negative trait. Unleash powers. Is that freak?
That's freak.
Sweet, because that's what I put my level up in. Okay. That's a 7.
Okay. So in that case, you have options.
Yay. Where?
You can mark a condition,
Mm.
or I will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
Tell me how it's unstable or temporary.
And so, Scylla, you don't even know exactly what you are doing.
Nope.
As you try to connect with the building around you, but you know that this building has done strange things before. It has jumped ahead in time, it has gone back in time, it has acted as though time never happened, it has built new rooms, it has removed rooms. It has done all of that, and as you're thinking about that, one, I think there's a moment of just realizing, why does the garden still look the way it looks? If it is this easy for this building to fix itself, why does that room retain its damage? Why hasn't that just been erased? Because everything else was. The broken doors, the darkness with teeth, all of that disappeared. But that hasn't. And you're in that moment reaching out, but also thinking logically. And then you start to see flashes. You see yourself standing in that bathroom. And it's almost like the memories are superimposed, because that's not the only time you've had something weird happen when you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
There have been many moments where something felt wrong, where you felt like something or someone saw you, where you had a vision standing in front of the mirror. And you see, from what can only be the perspective of the room, you standing in front of the mirror and that golden-eyed figure standing reflected back.
Looking like what?
Looking like he did, well, not in the vision, because he was borrowing someone in that vision. They look like that initially. They're wearing that Luke suit.
I hate that. Thank you for putting those words together.
And then the features flicker and distort. And you see a man who you are certain, maybe, that you have never seen before. Well, maybe you haven't seen him before, but something looks familiar. There is something almost wolfish in his features. The features are also too sharp. But no, not like you might wonder, Rook. Not like that. Because you would recognize Rook.
I would?
You would. He
Oh,
has been
'cause
in the
this-
public.
that's
yeah,
right.
He has been in the public eye enough that you have seen him. So this is someone you have never crossed paths with, at least as you are now, and someone you have never seen in the media. Those eyes stay the same. That golden glow emanating from them, and you realize that a golden glow was emanating from you too.
Oh, that's weird. So I'll just kind of process that of like, huh. And she just kind of smiles a little too wide and just kind of whispers, "Now I saw you too. Thank you, Hemlock. That was really helpful." She kind of gives the floor a pet. She's like, "If Connor asks for a safe place later, would you please consider listening to him? I think everyone would really appreciate that. And you do a really good job making nice rooms. And maybe if it's not too hard and doesn't hurt you, could you not let that man in the building? I'd really appreciate that too."
And you're not entirely sure you're getting through to the building at that point, Scylla, but what's strange is the connection hasn't entirely faded. And you continue speaking, but it's almost as though time has slowed down. And there is a moment where you are still feeling that connection to the building and whatever allows it to change and reform in the ways it does, and to show you what it just showed you. And those words, "Now I've seen you too," that you just whispered, repeat and echo. And you feel, just for a moment, them brush up against someone else in this building. And Valen, you see Caleb suddenly drop to the ground, initially motionless and then screaming.
Ew. I wasn't even near him. I don't think. Where were they? Do I hear this? Do I get a vibe from the floor?
Not at all. That immediately cuts off. Whatever connection you had is gone. And so, Scylla, you are just alone, chilling on the floor,
But
chewing
there's
on some
someone
table
else.
legs.
Yeah, chewing a little faster now because it's like, is there someone else in the building we don't know about? My God, is there someone in the walls? Just bites very fast as she processes this new horrifying thought. It's just like, I should do something. I should try to help, but I shouldn't do it without talking to the team first. That's responsible. And just keeps chewing the table leg. Eventually, probably moves to the next table leg.
We'll see if there is a table left.
Just no legs. Just doing little stress bites.
And so, Valen, your prospective boyfriend is on the ground screaming, clawing
Great.
at his head.
Great. Happy Monday. Or whatever fucking day it is here.
It's always Monday.
It's always Monday. I I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You said he's screaming and grabbing at his head. I'm just gonna kind of like kneel next to him and like grab his hands and just try to see if I can like get him to like look at me. Like, will he open his eyes? Is he like do I get anything else?
Valen, I think I would like you to unleash your powers.
Oh my god. Oh. Ooh, that's a 10. Sorry, there's a mosquito in my apartment. It's trying to kill me. Ha, killed it.
A 10 is very good.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to come from Caleb. My brain is not online enough for this.
Neither did I. I was talking to the building. I was trying to make friends with the building, not attack your boyfriend.
I know.
No.
There it
And
is.
so,
Okay, yes. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
and I think, I mean, in a lot of ways, it makes sense that you're not quite sure what to do because Valen has only used his power intentionally once. And that had some unintended effects when they did that. And I think it's that this is a moment of panic, that you see Caleb reacting to something you're not sure what, but it is clearly causing him pain and distress. And you want it to stop. And even before you know exactly what you're doing, that electricity is crackling along your forearms and into your hands. And I think there's a moment of panic where you realize this could hurt him. This could do something. I don't even know what I'm trying to use this for. I just want to help him. And it's that last piece that allows this to go as smoothly as it does. Because that electricity comes into contact with him. And you see it course through his body. You almost expect that he would start convulsing, but he doesn't. It's almost like he absorbs that energy. And whatever is in it quiets him down, calms him down. You see him relax. And you see him start to slow his breathing, his arms coming down to rest at his sides. And then, with that energy still coursing through him to where you can see it, in the irises of his eyes. He looks up at you and he just looks confused and says, what just happened to me, Valen?" You're muted.
Do you know that I said fuck if I know? Because that's what Valen said.
Yep.
You dropped to the ground and started screaming. What? Are you okay? Did something hurt you?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. You didn't hear that.
Hear what?
That voice?
What voice?
They said that they saw me.
What do you?
They said that they saw me, and then it started to hurt.
Who saw you? Did you recognize the voice?
No, I don't think so. It didn't sound like anyone I've met here.
Did it sound like a voice you know from outside of here?
Maybe, but it I don't know why it feels familiar.
Well, there was definitely no voice that the rest of us could hear, at least. And I'm kind of like glancing, like, I didn't imagine. I mean, if we were trying to get privacy, yeah, I probably would have gone either to Caleb's room or to my own room. Um, but I like peek outside the hall, like there's nobody. Clearly, nobody else is reacting. I assume. Okay.
Not at all. Everything is, I mean, as quiet as it ever is in Hemlock.
Okay. There was no voice, Caleb.
I mean, I guess hearing a voice that no one else did is not the strangest thing I've experienced since I've been here.
Okay, fair. Do you make a habit of dropping to the ground and screaming like that? Is that something that I should be aware of?
No, I don't think I've ever done that before.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Great. Great. I don't. Hopefully that doesn't ever happen again, to be honest. That was kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I mean, it's not your fault, obviously. Just things things were weird before you got here, and it feels like they're getting weird faster. So I'm just not quite sure what's normal.
Yeah, it's been a weird day.
Fuck. Yeah, you have not really been here that long. Um, yeah. It's probably gonna get weirder. I feel like I'm not I'm not really about teams, but I think that maybe this is a team thing. Like maybe I should tell the other people who have chosen to align themselves with me. Just terrible idea, let's be completely honest, but
I mean, I don't think that's a terrible idea, Valen.
okay, but you're the newest one on the block. So that's kind of you don't have all of the context yet. You don't have all the history. Um I feel like I should maybe go try to tell them. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. Um, there's enough weirdness. I mean, I don't know what they can do, but I guess better that they know.
Yeah, I think it's more of a like shared knowledge situation than a fix it right now situation, unfortunately.
I mean, when you met me, I was in a straitjacket, and then I took you to my childhood bedroom, and then we dropped in from the ceiling. So, like, I feel like this is nothing in comparison to all of that. Like, not that we shouldn't be worried about it, but I feel like this is, if they can know all of that, they can know this too.
And I'll tell them the other stuff eventually.
Oh yeah, I mean they saw part of it, so
Yeah, yeah. We that see that perspective is what you should approach all of Hemlock with, because shit's kind of backwards here on this side of the ISO wards. So
yeah, I thought this was the normal part, but I don't
no.
think there's a normal part at this point.
No, there's definitely not. And if there is, it's neither where you were nor is it here. Um I'm gonna go talk to Connor. Do you want water or ice or anything?
I'll I can go get that. Uh, you talk to Connor.
Okay. Uh and just I was gonna say shout if you need me, but feels a little fucked up, all things considered. So just, calmly let me know if there's anything I can do to be helpful right now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the cafeteria. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Nothing weird has ever happened there.
Famous last words.
And he heads off in that direction,
Oh my
leaving
god,
you
now
to
I
go
don't want to
find
let him
Connor.
go alone. But I will
It's
go
okay.
and find
Maybe he'll run
Connor.
into Scylla. I'm sure that is fine. Yeah.
It'll be great. Oh god. Okay, yes, I'm gonna go try to find Connor.
Sweet.
Where is
Okay.
Connor at
Yeah.
this point?
Connor's looking for a room. He's looking for a fucking room requirement. Like that's not actually what he's calling it because fuck terms. But but he is looking for a spot that could be used. Hopefully a place that has room for them to move about or take their separate corners if need be. Also, where's Mara?
I believe
She's
when
in
we
inner room.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Okay.
think we'd left her heading there.
Gotcha. Okay. I
Although
just
she probably
wanted to
poked
check.
her head out when she heard a scream. She's like, "What?"
Right. That is an important question. Did we hear the scream? Those that aren't Zilla.
I think you might have Connor. I think Mara did not.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so then Connor is heading back towards the way of the scream. I think probably was like on the other side of the facility and was like, okay, well that's weird. And nobody's okay, I guess we're fucking going. So yeah, I think Connor would have been heading back to investigate the scream to make sure his people are okay.
And then you would see Caleb walking out ahead of Valen from the room.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb looks a little shaken, but is not panicking.
Hey, are you okay? There was a scream earlier.
Yeah, that was me. Valen's gonna tell you all about that. Something weird happened.
Okay.
I'm gonna get water or ice chips. I'm not sure which. I haven't decided.
Ice chips. It's good for crunching, but also is hydration.
I'm gonna get some ice chips. Listen, and he leans in close, lowers his voice as much as he can. I think I might be able to help you find a room.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Um, okay. Do you still want to you still want me to go to Valen? Do you want to wait for Valen?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get the ice chips.
okay.
I'll let you talk to Valen.
Okay.
We'll talk about the room.
Room. Okay. Okay. But you're okay. You're okay? Like okay.
Yeah, something weird happened, but like I was saying to Valen, this whole fucking day has been weird.
Oh right, you just got here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was an egg day. You don't know what that means. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll teach you. Okay. Hopefully, it's not an egg and Salisbury steak day.
The way you say that, all I can say is, fuck, I hope not. But I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
I'll tell you. I'll draw it. I'll draw it. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like that
So
drawing is just going to be depression.
no, no, no. You have to think about it a couple times. Yeah, ice chips. Go ahead.
And he
And then he'll
leaves the two of you alone.
gotcha. Uh,
Um, I don't really know what it means exactly now that we're all on a team, but I feel like that means maybe don't keep important things from each other. And it feels important that someone else know that Caleb dropped like a bag of rocks and started screaming. Um, said
yeah, I
that,
heard that.
yeah, said he heard a voice that said that they see you, they see him. I don't know exactly what tense all of this was said, but
Mm-hmm.
what he heard in his head. Um,
Okay.
I didn't hear any voice. We were just sitting and talking when it happened.
Okay. Okay. So there's two options, potential two options, and like maybe a third um, mystery thing. Option one. Um, Theo's still crazy and is using her powers on the students, but I haven't heard anyone else having a moment, so maybe not. The second option is the thing from earlier, the the blank
Yeah,
slate. Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm afraid it is. Caleb said he didn't recognize the voice that said it.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe it's not that specifically then, but maybe it's connected.
I think so.
I'll ask Scylla. Um, I need um, I need to ask you a favor.
What's up?
Um, I'm working really hard to do better and not lose my temper as much. Um, but I'm not perfect at it. And I know that something might happen with all of the weirdness that's going on. So I would like for you, if I do happen to lose control, um, to stop me.
I'm honored that you think I can, Connor, but I don't know that I am the best one for that.
You can turn things off.
Once on a chance. And just now, maybe with Caleb, I've done this twice. I
It means you can do it again.
It means I could maybe hurt somebody if I tried.
I don't want you to hurt me. I want you to stop me. I want you to turn it off.
Okay, but I don't know how to do that.
Which is why we're gonna train. That's why I suggested we build the team so that we could learn together.
Also, Connor, what? Look, don't get me wrong. I hate this place next to everybody else, all right? This place fucking sucks.
Hmm.
But they do have means to stop us here. Why are you so afraid of getting angry?
Because what if they don't do it in time?
Then what if that's on everybody else for not getting out of the way soon enough? You
I'd rather
take a
not.
lot of burden on yourself, a lot of responsibility that maybe I'm just the guy who tries to pass off responsibility as often as possible, so I'm not the best one to say this, but you're not responsible for everything.
No. But I am responsible for doing my best to make sure that anything that I could do is mitigated. I'm planning ahead because I can't promise that I won't. And I can't promise that someone like Scylla or Ellie won't try to stop me. I know that Mara is strong, but I'm not sure gravity is strong enough to stop me when I lose control.
I
You don't have to. If you,
Good, because I don't know if I can,
okay,
but I guess we'll see.
I know that a lot of this is scary. It's all new. There's a lot that we don't understand about ourselves, Hemlock, others. Shadows that turn arms into obsidian. Moths that become hair and then not. Blank slates and burnt gardens. It's all a lot. But you don't have to do this alone. And I just wanted you to know that.
Like I said, I'm not really good at the whole team thing, so
I think you are. You're just You're not ready to admit it yet.
Yeah, okay. The second anyone thinks that I'm not ready to admit that I'm good at something, that'll be the day. I'm great at a lot of things, Connor. Being on teams, helping people, that
You
doesn't
helped
exactly
Caleb.
work out well.
You helped Caleb.
That was a shot in the dark.
Was it?
I didn't know what else to do. I was just trying to get him to stop screaming.
I meant getting him out here.
Seemed like the safer bet.
See? Afraid to admit it.
This conversation started because I was trying to tell you how Caleb dropped like a sack of rocks. I don't know how we got here.
Well, it's because I asked you to turn off my powers if I go crazy.
We don't. You're not going to go crazy. All right. You're not going to lose control, and I'm not good at teams. Those two things are pretty absolute.
I hope you're right about one of those things.
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if they've put up the food. They put up the menu for today. Sometimes the cooks forget.
This is an above the table question, really quick. I don't know how Connor's arm became obsidian, and I don't know why the moths showed up. I was not here for either of those things. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Mhm.
Because you
Yep.
just pointed both of those out, and Balin absolutely has this moment of like, no, wait a second. How the fuck did that happen?
Mhm. Yeah, because that's when you ran off to the office. You ran off to
Yeah.
Dr. O's office.
I was taking a little oh my god, that was before my little nippy nap, my little vacation.
Correct. Correct. It wasn't even during the nip nap. Yeah,
Nope.
you were off doing heist things. Like we were in a horror show, you were in a heist movie.
Wait, before you head over to do that, you were talking about darkness turning arms into obsidian. What happened? What is that?
So don't remember all the details, but you remember after the other the Mara's first group therapy session where everything kind of went belly up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a shadow monster thing.
Yeah, I booked it. I
Yeah.
kind of figured everybody else was gonna run away too.
Well, Ellie tried to like stop it.
Sounds about right.
So I grabbed Ellie and then I tried to punch it.
About right. What?
Right. And then when I punched it, it bit up to my arm, but it didn't like bite it off. It just got up there and then it turned my arm into obsidian. And then Scylla has moths. And Scylla bit the darkness, and the darkness ran away.
And I think that is a perfect time to move across the unit, where I think we briefly see Scylla showing those impressive teeth chomping on some table legs, but we keep on going over to Mara's room. What do we find Mara doing, Harp?
She was definitely trying to eavesdrop on Elle's conversation for as long as she could. Um, and I think she is frantically drawing in her, not like frantically drawing in her sketchbook, I guess that's a bad word, but like urgently. Like this is not a relaxing activity. Like she needs to get it down on paper. And it honestly genuinely almost looks like she's writing. But like if the camera pans to see what she is drawing, it's just more pictures of stars.
My cat is throwing a fit at my doorway, and I'm trying to pretend that this is not happening.
Yeah, it's demon hours.
It is demon hours. Mara, you are concentrating. Steph is coming to rescue me because
Oh my God,
Nancy
I'm so
is
sorry.
very, very unhappy right now. Mara, you are so intent on making the notations that you're making and making certain to get everything you want to be able to commit to paper on that paper. That I think it takes a moment for you to realize that the light in the room has gone off.
Oh,
And part of that is because there's still light from the window. So it is not dramatically darker. But you realize that the world around you has dimmed.
she's gonna like try and ignore it for the first like 10 seconds, just like light flickering. It's fine. Ellie probably did something, or somebody probably did something. And I can feel it from here, the rage. But after a little bit, she would step outside and start looking for people because the last time this happened, all she could remember is bleeding. So, like, just stepping outside. Hey, is anybody also? Do the other rooms look like they're dark?
They don't. And it takes a moment for you to realize what the problem is, Mara, because there are two problems. One is that every door along the hallway is closed. And you know that that is not allowed during the daytime. But you also realize how quiet it is, how you can hear only your own footsteps echoing out, that there is no sound of the cooks in the cafeteria preparing the meal. There's no sound of chatter from the rooms. There's not even the hum of the fluorescent lights. It is completely silent except for your footsteps, your breath, and your heartbeat.
Hey, are we is going to kind of walk back and forth up and down the hallway a little bit. Ellie's door right across from her. She's going to knock on Ellie's door. Hello? Hi. I'm sorry, we're not on the... Are you... No, it's fine. I wouldn't either. And she's going to walk over to Connor's door. Hey, Connor. I don't know why all the doors closed. I don't know why all of them closed. But oh, you probably can't do anything about it if your door is closed. Okay. I shouldn't be here, I guess. I should be... Everybody else is in their room. I should go back. I think she's gonna go back into her room.
Mara, you walk back into your room and it is still lit only with the light falling from the window. The darkness is deeper. The shadows have spread. And it is only for a split second that you see this. There is a moment just before where you register, I am not alone in here. And then you see what you thought were shadows detach from the wall, stepping into those dying lights of sun. And you see the antlers stretching up above this figure's head as they are backlit. And then just like that, they're gone. The lights are back. You can hear the humming of the fluorescent bulbs. You can hear the orderlies and nurses talking down the hall. You can hear chatter from the rooms around you. But there is something on your desk.
I think like as this kind of transition happens, I think very loudly Mara just shouts, "Get the fuck back!" And then realizes nothing's there. And then she's going to turn over whatever is on her desk.
What is on your desk? Is a piece of snowflake obsidian.
No, I got rid of this for her. Did she? Oh, we lost Elsie.
Elsie, get back here! Get your boyfriend under control!
Come back here, you coward! You did this.
Come get your man!
No, I got rid of this. I got rid of this for her. And she is going to try and make another black hole and put this one in it. If nobody's looking.
Incredible. I would love for you to unleash your powers.
Okay, cool. This is plus freak. I'm home and I have my dice again, everybody. Plus my freak, which is a maximum of 3. That is a 6.
God, I love it when the dice fucking tell a story. We love that so much. And so, Mara, you unlike last time, at least this is your theory. Unlike last time, you have not been preparing for this. You are doing this spur of the moment, using your powers in a calculated way. And you reach out to form this black hole, to destroy this piece of snowflake obsidian again. And nothing happens. It's almost as though something is pushing back on you, preventing you from doing this.
Okay. Let's take a breath. Connor told me. Connor didn't know this. She's gonna look around outside. She's going to walk back and forth. She is leaving the thing in her room.
And everything else at this time looks normal. If that had not appeared, it would seem like as normal a day as any that we have in Hemlock.
She is going to. Is Ellie done with her conversation with the two now?
I am imagining Ellie has since walked away from this interaction.
Then either into the doorway of her room or wherever Mara finds Ellie, just Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah.
What did you do?
What?
Oh, okay. It wasn't you. Sorry. Sorry to bother you.
What wasn't me?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Do you know where Onyx is? Do you know where Onyx is? Now, please.
No.
Okay. Bye. And she's gonna try and look around for Onyx.
I think she
am
just stands there for a second. And is like, what the fuck? Okay.
Question: does Ellie follow?
The plan was to meet back up after dinner. So if it's in the direction of the cafeteria, I guess so, because I think that's like her next best place to go. I think she like glanced probably back into Casey and Gray's room, like, did they hear that? Like, what the fuck? And then
Oh, Casey and Gray absolutely were watching that from the doorway of Casey's room and are both looking very amused at whatever is happening between you and Mara.
okay, thanks. for everything, I guess. Bye. And then, yeah, she'll follow.
And I'm imagining that that is a bit of a convergence, perhaps maybe more in the day room where Scylla still is. Because that is also where Onyx is. They have been sitting in one of the chairs, kind of off to the side, ignoring the fact that furniture is actively being eaten in front of them, and just trying to mind their own business.
What did you do?
They look up from the notepad that they've been drawing on. What? 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 Nothing, I think.
I don't think Mara can understand sign language.
They absolutely, yeah, no, she absolutely, I don't think can.
Looks back at Ellie. Please?
What did they sign?
Nothing, I don't think.
Ellie's gonna sign back like, I'm sorry. And then look at Mara and be like, they say nothing. They don't think, which is the same thing I said. And I think you should tell us what's happening, because clearly you've confused two people about what you've accused them of doing. Are
Ellie,
you
Rook gave
okay?
Okay. Ellie, Rook gave you your necklace? Is it true?
I said my mentor gave me my necklace, but
I know we know who your mentor is.
okay, then sure, yeah, he
Okay.
did.
Okay. Do you know where he got it?
No, I didn't ask where he got it. That's not really a normal question you ask when someone gives you something.
Okay. It had a bad stone gem in it that gave you a bad vision, right?
Right. After I
Um,
came here, right.
yeah, sorry. Um, uh, I, um, mm, I should go.
I don't think that's a good idea, because the last conversation we had about this, you had destroyed it. So I don't understand why you're bringing it up again. I thought we were over that.
It's not that. Sorry. I don't talk to people. It's either back or I have a different one now. But it's in my room. And it made me have kind of like a nightmare, but I think I was awake. And it's back, and when I tried to do that again, I couldn't. So I guess if you want another one, Allie.
Hey, you know how I absorbed Gray's super speed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm already at Mara's room.
Which means, Mara, you and Onyx are left sitting there with Onyx just looking very confused about all of this, and
Did you do that?
just and
Scylla
Onyx just
slid.
signs, like just signs. Why do you think it's always me?
You had. I don't know.
Scylla like
I thought it was
slithers out
Ellie at
from
first.
Scylla slithers out from under the table where she started working on the third leg, and it's just like, Onyx has been here the whole time.
Okay.
Do you want me to go get it and like flush it? That way if he tries to get it back again.
Don't touch it.
Well, can I touch it with a paper towel? And I'm not really
No.
touching it. I'm just carrying it. No?
Until
Okay.
I can get rid of it. No.
Hey, Ellie, what are you doing since you were at Mara's room?
Also, while you're in Mara's room, the
I'm on mute.
sketchbook is like dropped with pages open.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Lots of things to look at. Staring the necklace down, probably like trying to figure out how it got back. After what happened before, I think she'd probably pull out the gloves in her pocket and put at least one on to grab it. And like just like inspect it, or maybe not. I could just use telekinesis actually to lift it up and look at it and inspect it.
And Ellie, you are looking at the necklace, and you are the person who is uniquely qualified to recognize this because you know every place it has been chipped, every place where it has been worn down during your time owning it. It's the same necklace, and you remember what happened with it the last time it was here. You remember the fear that was activated. And speaking of fear, we're going to quickly jump over to Theo because I'm imagining if you'll allow it, Rose, that when we see Theo, she is sitting down and making some notes. And I would love to know what those notes say.
Sure. I think has her power come back, and did she hear any of the screams or any of what had gone down?
Oh, that is a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have heard all of this.
I've heard everything.
All of Bar and Ellie or all this shit?
All of it.
This is a Nova whose power is telepathy.
I hate it.
Everything that she heard then, she has been scribbling like a mad woman. Voices. We go and we see in some of the margins just the words "I see you too, I see you too, I see you too, I see you too" are written, but then crossed out and scribbled. She's not a very good artist, but you can see the outlines of chess pieces. And she has various of them crossed off and question marks and scribbled out. And there's one on the very corner of the board that's just circled and spread. And I think in then the more recognizable parts, the part that might actually start to look like notes. Yeah. There's logs of people's conversations, and pretty much what we saw in the caption, it would be similar to that. It would be the last page is specifically just the words "just say no, just say no, stop, just say no, until it's just no written constantly.
And there are, of course, pieces that you know about that have not been seen. There are thoughts from Lucian about Connor and about how proud they are of him and how scared he is that he may not live up to the expectations they have for themselves, and that Connor will see that. There is Bridget, who is, as she often is, alone in her room. And she too is repeating, just say no, just say no. But if you paid attention for more than a moment and it wasn't just background noise, you would realize that she's wielding that like a shield. Not for themselves, but against those who would listen.
One of the many voices that Theo can't tell if they're her own or not, or just the various thoughts that she has in a similar voice to the one that wished the party to go ape shit, says in Theo's mind, she's learning. Good. That's a start.
And I don't know that Theo would transcribe this particular conversation, but we also see Casey and Gray. And we hear Casey say, I'm not going to let her hurt you, Gray. I'm not going to let that happen. And we hear Gray say, I'm not worried about me being the one who gets hurt.
I think for that section, I think that she just scribbles various life achievements that a mom would care about for Casey. You know, first tooth lost on this date, first haircut on this date, tried out for the soccer team, missed out, didn't make audition, like all these like things. There's nothing about Gray.
And I think the worst part of that for Theo is that as she goes through all of those milestones, I imagine there's a point where that stops. Because that's the point where that line between Casey and Gray becomes so blurred that it's almost impossible to maintain those milestones without cutting both of them out.
I think there's a moment where one of the voices just is repeating, "Where's my baby?" And she like looks up, and I think there's a moment where she looks around the apartment, and it's I there's probably a shimmer or something as she just very much as much wanting the illusion to be real, so helping it along, but knowing something's wrong, but then just continues and starts repeating the milestones. Birthday.
And we're going to pan away on Theo and her scribbling because, speaking of things being wrong, there are a lot of things happening right now that are not optimal. There is Ellie telekinetically lifting the necklace to examine it. There is Mara, who does not want anyone else to come into contact with it. There is Scylla, who is reeling from moment after moment of strange things happening. There is Connor, who is trying to be a leader in the midst of this chaos. And there is Valen, who I am imagining is going to look for Caleb. You find him, it's not hard. He has gotten his ice chips without incident. Nothing has gone catastrophically wrong. And he looks really excited to see you. It's clear that there's something on his mind. And it's also clear he likes being around you.
I'm glad the cafeteria didn't do you in.
Is it usually that dangerous?
I'm gonna be honest, it kind of feels like anyone going anywhere by themselves is just you're about 50-50 for making it back alive, so
It seems like, we should maybe use the buddy system here.
probably. And I don't know if that's gonna go over well, but I don't think you're wrong.
I mean, maybe we could pair up.
Uh yeah, sure. That's and Valen is like looking at the ground, like kind of shuffling his feet. Yeah, that works. Was there something you wanted to tell me? You looked exceptionally excited to see me, which is, you know, already in and of itself a little bit strange. So,
I mean, that doesn't seem strange to me. We'll unpack that later, but there was something I wanted to ask. Do you think you can fix this? And he taps the bracelet on his wrist.
um, Valen just finished telling Connor, I don't know how to use my powers, but is not going to lose any face in front of his crush. And is going to say, yeah, let me give it a shot. I'm gonna oh, fuck. Oh, my tummy hurts. Um, last time when I was trying to help Caleb, Valen zeroed in on wanting to help, and I think is going to try and follow that same method, but simplify it. And thinking about what Connor said earlier when Connor was saying, if something happens, get me to stop. Valen is going to just think stop and is going to try to stop this from its base function.
I think that makes sense.
Oh, I'm so afraid. Oh no. Oh no. Remember, I think my freak is a 0. Yeah. That's a 6.
Yeah, I feel like that tracks because
Yeah.
this is a slightly different power to be tapping into. This requires more finesse than Valen has had the time to practice. Because what Valen has done so far is essentially act as a neutralizer. And when you have come into contact with something, you have historically absorbed it, as in the case with Dr. Oleander's door, or you have expressed that outwardly, like you did when the shield came up between Theo and Casey. But with this, you're trying to stop it, and you're also trying to not hurt Caleb in the process. And when you go to turn off to stop that power suppressor, rather than melding together in that moment like you had with Dr. Oleander's door, where you were able to instead take it away, it ricochets off. And I would like each player at the table to describe to me what happens
Oh.
as your characters are hit with the wave that emanates through the entire building and your powers are turned off. Starting with whoever would like to go first.
I'll go first. So Connor is standing. Actually, hold on. Important question. Does the obsidian go with it?
Yes.
Good. Good. So Connor was standing, just sort of waiting for Valen and Caleb to return. And then very suddenly, he is on the floor. Because part of his transmuting of flesh was what was sort of keeping his frame together. He'd been stretched out. And like, so the limbs and things are not quite right. His blue skin, his blue-gray skin is now brown. His gemstone hair is now curly and black. His eyes are dark. And I think there's a grimace, a sneer that sort of forms on his face as he hits the ground, and there's just that immediate anger response that isn't controlled with the focus that comes from him keeping himself together. But he is unable to really move because he was not born with the frame that he currently has. So he is just on the ground and angry about it.
I thought Steph was reaching for her mic, so I was giving her those moments. She's just making
distraught.
sad faces.
So like Scylla's always been this way. So like her like shimmery, like kind of scaly crystallized patches of skin, are those gone or are those still there? Because she's always been, they're gone?
I think if you're open to it, they fully almost shatter off of you. Much like the moths in your hair.
Oh, my moth friends! Okay. Am I still bendy? Sharp teeth?
I'll give you bendy and sharp teeth.
Oh, that's natural. Okay, cool.
That's terrifying, actually.
She bendy. Scylla's very confused because she's never felt something like this, and when those parts of her skin shatter, she is just very startled and like kind of shrieks, and it's just looking at the patches of skin where they were, it's very like white, like almost like devoid of color from where they've been. So she has these like patches on her body and face, but as she realizes her moths shatter, she just kind of grabs them and just starts wailing at the top of her lungs. Just grabbing them up and like clutching them and just wailing.
Yeah, this is a normal one. This is a normal one. This is fine.
It's fine. Just mouth open too wide, not that she realizes that, just fully wailing in despair and horror because all her little friends just shattered to pieces.
Laura, Ellie.
Don't do this to me. Okay. Wait, I might have dissociated a little bit and need a detail brought to my attention whether or not is the necklace disappeared? Maybe no. What? I missed it.
Everybody's power's turned off.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that part.
everything-
Yeah, that part. Necklace still there? Not floating, obviously, but is it still there?
It falls back down to the desk.
Okay.
Did any
Okay.
Antler Man just fall out of the wall too? Since
God, I
all
hope
powers
so.
are off.
God, I hope so. We got
No.
we got beef. We got beef. Wait, I don't want him to fall out right now because I don't have powers.
Right,
Never mind.
because
Put it back.
you
Put
don't
it
have
back.
hands.
He
right.
wouldn't either. He might not either.
Oh, a normal looking.
We just start kicking him.
Hit him with your car. I think there's a moment of surprise when it falls to the desk and she almost goes to catch it, but then catches herself doing that, but realizes she feels stronger than she did before she lost her powers, which is because she's no longer like coping with the alterations of her DNA that she was going through because of Casey and Gray, and it's now like a relief. Like she doesn't feel weak, she doesn't feel sick, she doesn't feel like she needs to sit down. It feels normal, like she normally does feel when she hasn't absorbed an ability in a while. And then it hits her that that's weird and that it fell from the sky or the air. And she looks down at it and then looks at her ungloved hand and looks at her gloved hand. And I think she tries to reach for it with super speed and fails, and then takes it with the ungloved hand to see what happens.
Why? We were doing so good.
I know. I can't not
We were doing so
make the bad choices.
good. I
Q.
don't think that's true.
I do. It's the more interesting choice, and I like those better.
It feels like a stone in your hand, and I imagine in that moment there is a realization, not necessarily yet of what just happened, but you realize you're not feeling all of the things you usually do. You realize you have that separation. You realize that this necklace is not having an effect on you in any way, shape, or form. And you also realize that for as long as this lasts, you will not feel that love you felt between Casey and Gray when you acted as their conduit.
And this all happens when I hold the stone.
It sure does.
Does it feel like my own emotions, or do I feel influenced?
Feels like your own emotions.
Cool. Okay. It goes in the pocket this time. And if I can look at Mara's sketchbook that's open, I do want to look at the page that's open.
And I think as you look at that, we pan over to Mara to see how this is affecting her.
Yeah, like the moments before it happened, like as it's moving out, she's just saying, "Okay, where's Connor? I need to find Connor because he." And then I think she just goes completely still. And to like a neutral position. And it looks to people that she's just thinking on something pretty hard. It seems like inside her head it is, okay, don't get excited, don't get excited, don't get your hopes up. And then she is going to start walking to find Connor or wherever Ellie went to, or whatever Valen's doing, and tell them to meet up. You're muted.
Oh, you're muted, love.
Thank you. I have to worry about the baby so much, even though I think she's peaceful right now.
Yeah, she's finally asleep.
So we have so many different reactions. We have the anger of Connor. We have the devastation and grief of Scylla. We have the hope of Mara. We have that feeling of loss from Ellie. And we have other reactions as well. We have the confusion of Bridget. She does not seem particularly influenced either way, but she is definitely trying to understand what has happened to them. We have absolute fear and panic from Casey and Gray, who have lost the only edge that they had. We have perhaps not unlike with Mara, some hopefulness from both Lucian and Onyx. Lucian's relief that one day he could maybe perform without worrying about accidentally setting off a riot or causing murders to erupt in the audience. we have Onyx thinking that maybe they are no longer infected with what they have been. And what do we have with Theo?
I think there's a moment where the haze kind of clears and she looks at the notebook and she looks around and she sees the walls of Hemlock in her cell. I think you all would hear Theo laughing, just absolutely cackling, euphoric, completely bliss. Yeah.
And we hear that laughter echo down the hall where we find Valen and we find Caleb. And Caleb does not seem to have been affected in the way the others have been, Valen. Though it is terrible because through those powers you now have, you can feel each and every one of these reactions. And Caleb is looking at you not in a way of being scared of you, but being scared for you. And he reaches out a hand to you, and you see that aura around him start to ignite, start to come undone. Rainbow crackling with shadow. And he extends a hand and says, I can fix this. Do you trust me?
I'm gonna take his hand.
And we see, as though from camera footage, and it very well might be, the two clasp hands and flicker in and out 3 times before disappearing entirely, leaving nothing but the cackling of Theo and the wailing of Scylla in the wake. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
I'm being personally attacked. I just need you
What
to
does that
know.
mean?
You're personally attacking my baby. Oh my god, she's about to have a panic attack. She thinks Connor shattered. Oh my god, she thinks Connor shattered. Oh no, this is going to be bad.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, you can hear him screaming. So
He might be shattering to pieces while
I mean,
I gotta find her a boy.
probably not shattered, but he's not doing great. Is the thing.
Oh no.
I feel bad asking my cast to do outros as they are.
Fuck you.
too
As we're all
normal.
processing this
My
shit.
baby.
Fuck, dude. All right.
Because we're
We
just
have a normal one.
dissociating, sure.
I feel
Sure,
this
that's
is
fine.
the
bad
end of
for
every
her.
episode. We are always dissociating at the
This
end
is
of
so
every
bad
episode.
for her.
I need to drop the meme, and I'm going to do that as we are doing outros.
Oh, that?
I'm gonna
I can
ask
do
Harp, are you up for doing your outro first?
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be a short one today, though. Oh, Elsie. Nothing. You just look like you were about to cry, girl.
I'm always about to cry.
True.
She's cried in so many voice messages that she sent me. It's really amazing.
The one the
Yeah.
other day was very good. I reached a pitch of sound that only dogs could hear. So we don't have to talk about that though.
I'm Harper. I'm not gonna. I'm on Beacons tomorrow, and then in a week I'm on Lost Caravan. That's it. That's all you need to know about me. And aside from the fact that I'm getting married Saturday, and that's that.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm
Buried the
getting
lead on
married.
that, Harp. Just like
Yeah.
not too much going on. Getting married.
Getting married, no bigs, actually.
Don't talk to me. Congrats.
My future wife loves me.
Yes, hell yeah.
All right, we're gonna hop over Kian, both to give them a moment to process, and also because they will be doing the Entropy Emporium outro as well. But we're gonna jump over to you, Q.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, I'm Q. Tonight I was playing Connor. You're the saddest, angiest boy, now just angy and also falling apart. It's fine. When you can't see me here, you can find me out on the interwebs at Midnight Inc. That's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I keep making cowboys. I don't have any cowboys in the lineup until Sunday. But you can see me Thursday for Redacted.
Yep.
It's Thursday for Redacted. We back, baby. We have made choices in that game. We sure have. And then Saturday morning, come over to Live from the Apocalypse. So join us for some Saturday morning cartoons. And by that, I mean class reunion, where it was 5 students that got isekai'd and then one of their roommates. I'm the roommate. And then Sunday, Starcrier. All right, RPG's Uncovered. I am playing Logan Uhura. He is a gay space cowboy. Yeah, that's it. No, Mondays, because we've still got, I think, like 2 more episodes. New channel alert. Pam, 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 pam. Not mine, a friend's. Caltrop Chronicles. We are doing a game based on the City of Mist system called Mist Connections. It's been very good. I'm playing a bunch of ravens. Benjamin Blackthorn. He is my Chaos Gremlin. I haven't played one of those on Scream in a minute. It's been pretty fantastic. Yeah, you should watch that. We have episodes 1 through 4 out right now. You should go and watch. It's a real good time. Okay, now I'm done.
All right, we are going to jump over to Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph. I've been Scylla. She just keeps having bad times on this here day. And I don't know if we did it on stream, but she now has 2 filled on her Doom track because she frightened her loved ones last time. You can find me this Thursday on Life from the Apocalypse, also in Redacted. All the ghosts are out, and we have done some time-space shenanigans on this haunted-ass island. See how that goes for us, because it's been going well so far. And when I'm not there, I'm usually here. So yeah, that's all going on for me.
Listen, Steph, we need to get you to do what I did in Academy H on Sunday and fucking speed run your Doom track and just bump it up by 3 in the space of 30 minutes.
We'll
Go.
see how
Let's
this
do
goes
it.
next time, because Scylla's kind of spiraling right now. So.
All right, I'll see. You ready? You ready to be up?
No, but I'll never be ready because I kicked my computer and broke it. Not really, but one of my screen, I have to restart it again because I called it. Anyways, I'm still dissociating about all of this, and I am Elsie, and I am about to cry. On live television, I'm optimistic on all social media. I use she/they pronouns. I play Ellie. We're having a great time. Powers are the thing that make her special. And they're gone, but also the hunger is gone, so that's nice. but also I'm very sad again. So that's also nice. Where can you find me? I'm in Tomb Raider over on the Lost Caravan on Thursday, and then skip a week, and I'm in not Tomb Raider again. I'm in Old Gods of Appalachia every other Tuesday. That's not Teacup Days. It'll be really fun, really super awesome. I got Hoop to watch Interview with a Vampire. It's not my fault. I have a fake king boyfriend. The rest is not my fault. Harp, don't worry about it. And then you can find me on the Mondays in Hell's Gate, where I play whatever you're saying, Q, shut up. All right. I'm making the best decisions for everybody. And I'm also making the best decisions for everyone in that game, in which I have a evil hot doctor who's now after more than one party, which is also not my fault. Hope. I just like Hannibal. That's all. And I
Can't wait.
have a head boyfriend in that one too.
I mean, I can't-
Three of those games.
For ULC, we're gonna have Will guest star as
No.
fun.
No.
Smart.
No.
Yeah.
No. See, that's where the high pitch happened. That's where I reached a sound that only dogs can hear. He has no
Valid.
business doing this to me. I'm going to scream, but not right now. But I will. I'm still thinking about it, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since Saturday. Sunday, I don't remember what day it was. I'm upset. Will, I'm upset. Stop. You can't do this to me. Not even in that game. It's not fair to me.
Will has done nothing wrong
That's-
ever in his life, and with that, I'm gonna go to someone else who has never done anything wrong ever in their life, and I'm gonna jump to Rose.
That's a fucking
Hi.
lie 2 times in a row.
I've done nothing wrong. Thank you, JD, for that very true sentence. Hello, I'm Rose. I've played Theodora, guest starring here with the wonderful party. You can find me also Thursday on the Lost Caravan in Tomb Raider, and then Tuesdays as well. You can find me with Q on LFTA's Tenebris. Besides that, you can find me on Instagram at Rose from the Grave, all underscores. And yeah, I think it's great. Episode turned out great for Theo. 10 out of 10. Nothing's wrong with her. She's got free apartment, no powers, laughing. She's with her son. What could be wrong? All smiles and hemlock.
And I am going to jump in before I hand the reins over to Kian, and I am going to try to go through this somewhat quickly if I can, because I do way too many things. Hi, I am JD. I have been your storyteller for this game. I can most often be found with Live from the Apocalypse. I run the aforementioned Redacted. I am also ostensibly in Class Reunion, currently as 2 characters. I was kind of hoping I might be able to sneak in and magically join the session on Saturday, but I am seeing that we are having house showings literally at that time. So that will not be happening. I thought I might be able to sneak in 3 hours. That's not going to happen. So you will not find me in Class Reunion until sometime next month when I am able to return. But in the meantime, you can find me in the games over there. Thy Kingdom Come, which is our dystopian theocracy game where I play Saint Soren Augustine, who aims to have the highest kill count of any character, but Kaz definitely just broke that. Soren has no hope of ever reaching that number based on what Kaz just did. You can also find me in Never Ember's Enigma, which is every other Thursday. It is our D&D heist game where I play Riv, who is a changeling rogue who has never done anything wrong ever in their life, nor have any of their alternate identities. They never would. They're here to steal hearts. And then you can find me in Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast, where I play Casimir Bright, aka Spectral, who, as mentioned, makes really bad decisions that have catastrophic consequences, and it's fine. I can also be found every other Wednesday in Nova over on Lost Caravan, where I play Corbin Calloway. And this upcoming Friday, I will be with Lost Caravan as well, for our ongoing game, The Fall of the House of Red, where I play Virgil, who is a bad person and is going to make bad choices, and we're just going to accept it, and has a kill count on his chest because he is hoping to achieve those numbers as well. Very normal, very Hinge thing to do. And then you can also find me over here in Entropy Emporium every other Saturday for Blooming in the Rot, our Invisible Sun game where I just play a little guy filled with demons. And it's fine. But I will now hand it over to Kian.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kian. My pronouns are they, he. You can find me on the interwebs at uptight_Chiffon, uptight-Chiffon, depending on where you're hanging out. Tonight I have been Valen, just a little lad, just vibing, doing whatever. Tomorrow night I'll be over on High Shelf Collective with Harp for Beacons, the return of Beacons of Farlight, Arc 3, which we are super excited about. Cannot wait to jump into the last arc of this story. On next Wednesday, every other Wednesday, I'm over on Lost Caravan for our Nova campaign. Playing Nikki Breyer, Call Sign Sunshine. I am the GM for the Blooming in the Rot campaign, our Invisible Sun AP that JD just mentioned, where I get to hang out with my players and give them wonderful NPCs that are... Nothing about that game is a horror game. I don't know what my player's talking about. It's super friendly. Everything is super fine. It's super chill. And I can't talk about any of my other projects right now. That's not true. Starting on the 23rd for 3 Mondays in a row, I'll be running public access over here on Entropy Emporium, which I'm very excited about. It's going to be a little mini series that I've got going with a new table. So very thrilled about that one. The rest of my projects I can't yet talk about because they have not been announced yet, but I've got fun things coming up. Follow me on social media. That's where you will hear about it first. As far as for the channel, next Monday will be the finale of our Brindlewood Bay 3-part miniseries. We had to reschedule that for that first one, so it will be happening next Monday here, 7 p.m. And then next Thursday, God Complex, our Girl by Moonlight AP Neon Genesis inspired. I'm putting those words in the wrong order, but you know what I mean. Run by Will. We've got Weird Wilds Wars next Friday, our Dungeons and Dragons 5e campaign, GM'd by JP. And then, of course, back here next, the following Tuesday after every other Tuesday for They Call Us Villains. That is all that I have, so I'll hand it back to you, JD. Well, somebody in the chat, in our group chats, messaged me who we're going to raid really quick because I forgot to
Yeah,
ask
that
about
was me. So yes, hang on, stay with us for a raid. We had mentioned earlier that we are doing everything we can to help support Lion as they are in these last few days of mutual aid fundraising, so that they are able to maintain their housing. And so we are going to pop over and join Tales from the Table Studios for tonight's stream. So be nice, be friendly. Throw a follow their way, and if you can, please donate and also spread awareness of this ongoing call for mutual aid for one of our community members. So I will take us to the ending screen, set the raid up, and with that, so I can give my cast a moment to decompress, I would like to invite my cast to say good night.
Buenos
Good
noches, babies.
night.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Bye bye.
Ah!